Happy belated Iron Man 2 review, everyone. Watch this review here with well, I think I already said what I'm going to be doing, but in case you're wondering what the frog is there for, it's because I'm doing an Iron Man 2 review. Yep. And you know what? Because I want to be really random, let me just toss in that Saber figure, which I meant to review back in March, but I procrastinated like crazy. That was back when I put a pre-order in on the Figma Rider from the same series. So yeah, a lot of people have already reviewed this movie and expressed their opinion that this movie is awesome, or in some cases awful, but if nothing else, it's definitely given us some very cool action figures. I actually bought a mess of them, and they're still packaged, just hanging up, being displayed. I'll review them at some point. Also, even the Burger King toys are kind of cool. I mean, look at this. It's a 7-inch Iron Man. 7 inches. You know how much it cost me? 75 cents. Didn't buy it at the kids' meal. Didn't even have to. McDonald's, they charge you like $2 for their toys. I mean, what's up with that? I always feel like such a creep, though, when I'm asking for like one of these toys from like one of these fast food places, just because they're really geared towards kids and stuff. I have to pretend that I've got a kid out in the car. I'm going, pipe down, you! I'll make sure we got those Iron Man 2 toys. So, yeah. Just, if you're ever going to try doing that, just remember to never do it at the drive-thru, because they can look into your car and see that you don't have kids there. So, you look kind of weird. But right about now, we're about 90 seconds in, and you're wondering, where's the actual Iron Man 2 review? Getting to it. Like I said, procrastinator. But yeah, if you've seen the first film, it's mostly the same cast. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. Jim Rhodes is played by, I think it was Don Cheadle. I forget what the guy's name is. Nick Fury, who only appeared after the credits in the original, is played by Samuel L. Jackson, and he has a bigger role. Pepper Potts is played by the very sexy Gwyneth Paltrow, and then, of course, we are missing a few characters because they're dead, such as Tony Stark's old business partner from the first movie. Can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was the guy in the Ironmonger suit that went up into outer space. I think he got killed, but I can't remember. Sorry, spoilers. And introduced for this movie is Scarlett Johansson, even hotter than Gwyneth Paltrow, as Black Widow. I can't believe she married frigging Ryan Reynolds. The guy who plays Deadpool in X-Men Origins Wolverine does a horrible job of it, in addition to being Hannibal King in one of the Blade movies, which, he was actually half decent in, because, he kind of pulled that off. So yeah, I'm not going to go into like a huge plot summary, but it basically picks up sometime after the last movie let off with some court hearings and stuff, and then cuts to scenes over in frigging Russia where you have Mickey Rourke playing Anton Ivankov or something. It's some weird name. Then, aka Whiplash, although I don't remember if they actually called him Whiplash in the movie. But yeah, as opposed to the first movie, there's a lot more action. But once again, it's really just centered in like 2 parts again, so it's freaking lame. I mean, if you saw the first Iron Man, they had that pretty kick-ass fight scene against that whole army, and then actually 3 scenes. First one was busting out the cave in the original, then they had that really kick-ass interception thing where you went down and attacked that camp, and then it was really awesome. Then you had that big fight against Ironmonger at the end, which just seemed to drag on forever. Not much happened, so yeah, this time around we get sort of centralized action. As from the trailers, you know that Whiplash attacks him at the race course, and then towards the end there's another attack, which you also see the thing, so did I like this film? Yeah, I mean, it was pretty okay. Strong endorsement, right? Pretty okay. It didn't seem as fun as the first movie, although they did toss in a lot more comedy. Then they have this entire, I guess, sort of subplot to the main story of the movie involving finding a better energy source for the arc reactor, which, I mean, it's kind of felt like a stretch, but, whatever. And although the movie is over 2 hours, the time just flies by. And you actually might leave feeling like you wanted to see a bit more, but, I mean, they try tossing in so much extra stuff and so many different plot threads that it kind of just really pushes back the runtime, and I really don't want to even see what the director's version of this, because this could probably be like a 4-hour film. Kind of like how Return of the King supposedly was pushed back like 5 or 6 hours once everybody put all those features back in, despite the fact that they like cut it and it was like 3.5 hours in theaters. I swear, summer blockbusters just seem to like have really gotten so much freaking longer these past 10 years. But I mean, honestly, the whole movie just sort of seemed to come apart towards the end. Oh, look, we have Iron Torso, the paraplegic superhero. I wonder how many people that pun would offend. But yeah, things seemed to be like really go really well in the beginning of the movie, then towards the end, just felt like it was sort of slapped together in the big action sequence, although, you know, it was a lot busier than the first film, which had that really boring Ironmonger thing. But at the same time, it just really didn't seem well edited, and they tossed in just the usual random jokes into the middle of the action sequence. It's like, why the hell you gotta do this, folks? I mean, it's just crappy directing. I mean, it's supposed to like maybe ease tension or something, or maybe that's the only way that those jokes would actually be funny, but just shot the action a lot closer and a lot, you know, tighter. They wouldn't need to toss in that stuff to break it up. The other thing is, I absolutely hated the conclusion of the film where, you know, they actually beat Whiplash, because it was just, I don't know, it's like I hate when they do those stupid obvious foreshadowing earlier in the film, which, come to think of it, means there's actually 3 or 4 action sequences in the movie, because there was that house fight, and I guess they also count that. The other big thing that people complained about was that they showed us so much in the trailers that they actually cut out from the film. Like that first scene where he's jumping out of the plane at the beginning of the movie, or actually it's a few minutes into the movie. And in the trailers you see Pepper Potts standing next to him and she's like, "Go get him, boss." Not even in there. He's already got the mask on when he's jumping out of the plane. I don't know if people just didn't like that in the trailers and they got negative reactions, so they had to pull it out from the film, or whether they decided to just pull it from the film so they can put in the special features, the director's edition of the film, to make a little bit more money. But seriously, kind of annoying. But on the whole, it's a so-so film. I mean, the original 2 I thought was a little bit better than a so-so film, but a lot of people really liked it, and I was pretty hyped up after seeing both of them. Of course, now you're probably wondering the big question: why now? Well, earlier tonight, my brother was going to see it, and I was trying to figure out, do I want to talk him out of this? Do I want to let him go there and plop down whatever 12 or 13 bucks it is for a ticket? But I mean, it's the eternal question: how much do you really say to friends, relatives, and coworkers about a film, you know, in terms of like warnings as to whether they may or may not like it, without sort of pushing the boundaries or dropping major spoilers? And, you know, I haven't found that comfy difference yet, so I just told him that, you know, it's a little bit iffy in places, and then, you know, it's kind of on par with the first, so I left it at that. Oh yeah, you were wondering about the frog, weren't you? Well, I was coming out of the theater, and I always have to hit these crane grabs, but went for the frog, grabbed him and a little toy dog, so the toy dog went to the dog, and then this, I'm going to keep around until I get bored of it, then I'll probably just give it to a kid or something. But yeah, there's the story of how I got this kick-ass looking frog with the cool looking cheeks, and until next time, folks,